It's time for the NBA, live on 2K Sports. Along with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. The Detroit Pistons, Miami.
And they played with such tenacity on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, it takes a lot of pressure off of them when they go on offense.
And I think you've got to give plenty of credit to go around. You can't just highlight or pick out one or two guys that stood out, because everybody did defensively.
And now the opening lineup for Detroit. Jennings and Caldwell Pope in the backcourt. Andre Drummond is out there with Ilyasova. And it's Johnson in at the three.
Get your first bucket of the day. And guys, how about Ilyasova last season shooting the basketball? Always a decent threat to score. His improvements in efficiency were amazing. He increased his field goal accuracy from 41 to 47% in only 1 year.
And we were talking about Ilyasova. There's a reason his field goal percentage went up last season. It wasn't necessarily better shooting. It was probably better shot selection.
And I think the scheme played to his strengths. Lots of ball movement, penetration, kicking out to open spot-up shooters. Ersan showed us that's his kind of game.
Detroit on D. It's a three-point game. The feed to Irving. From deep. And he gets it to go. Irving's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
And if you're the guy who has to guard him, it is never going to be an easy night for you.
To the inside, Paul George with the steal. And another three for Cleveland.
And a great job of taking advantage of the steal there to get those easy ones in transition.
You know, that's exactly how you draw it up, Greg, on the board. I mean, good defensive work, aggressive play in the open court. Those two things are hand in glove when they work together. His eyes just simply light up when he gets that close to the bucket. And you just know what he's going to do with the basketball.
Johnson sets the screen for Jennings. And Irving with a clear path to the hoop. A shot's good on the assist by George. Irving's got 5. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for Cleveland.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunity. They're really keeping it up tempo so far.
Now about 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter. And Ilyasova kicks to Caldwell Pope. Just 5 on the clock. Shot to stop the run. And it's Anthony Davis with the rebound.
That's another miss. Already they've missed 3 out of 4 to start.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim. And Detroit with a 32-50 record last season. They didn't have any help from the schedule. They had a total of 22 back-to-back series on the year, tied for most in the league.
Jennings against Irving. Outside Jennings. Back to Drummond. Detroit needs to get off a shot. Detroit, no good that time either.
And he just hasn't been able to make anything this quarter.
That pushes it to double digits. He has 5.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
And now the first timeout called here for Detroit.
And for Kyrie Irving, it had been a long time coming. Last season, he finally played in his first postseason with the Cavs. And up until the unfortunate injury, he certainly made the most of it.
On platoon swap here for Cleveland. Pistons trail by 11. Now Jennings. Ilyasova, a screen on Paul. Outside Jennings. And taken away by Paul. Pushing it up. Here's Jennings.
Ooh, quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slant.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
And the replay, of course, presented by Kia. What a play. Here's Paul following the three by Detroit. Back to James, and stolen by Ilyasova. Butler against Jennings. Tries from 10. Misses off the left iron. Cleveland leading by 10. The 19-foot shot, and again it's Cleveland.
Well, and this run really triggered by their transition offense.
And you can see the momentum swinging now. They've gotten a huge boost of energy, and now the offense starting to click.
And Caldwell Pope gets the basket.
It took him a while, but he finally gets one to fall.
Pope loose. Fast break Detroit. Good D by LeBron.
No other way to put it. Just a rough quarter in terms of scoring. He has not been helping at all.
Pass to Drummond. Dishes to Caldwell Pope. Nice ball movement by Detroit. Here's Ilyasova on the money from 12 feet away. Ilyasova's got 8 points.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Now let's send it down to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Stan Van Gundy.
There haven't been many players that have the physical prowess of LeBron James, and he knows that this is going to pose a lot of problems for his team. He told me the most amazing thing to him about LeBron was that he has the ability to be a force at virtually any position on the floor, from point guard to center. He can and does do it all, guys.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. Three-pointer, Butler, good, and the assist goes to James. Butler's got himself on the board with 3 there.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Well, everything's coming too easily. I mean, at some point defensively, you have to take something away.
Cleveland leading by 8. Paul outside. There's the dish to James. Outside Butler from deep. Rebound Detroit. This game against Cleveland is the first time they've met this season. Here's Johnson. The other way. They come into this having outplayed Phoenix the last game.
And the deciding factor in that one was their success from the floor. I mean, they just hit big shots time and time again.
Yeah, just the way you want it when you're the road team. Don't even give the fans a chance to get into it.
Here's Hayward.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful jam.
And it's like raining buckets right now. I wonder if this is the early stages of a blowout.
Well, we've got to be careful. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves just yet. But it has been pretty ugly so far, no doubt about that.
And so it's Detroit with the ball, following the score by Cleveland. Drummond sets the screen for Jennings. Back to Drummond. Love grabs the board.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted, and really, I like the movement and communication there.
Jennings kicks to Caldwell Pope. No luck. Good D by James.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there. And the lead continues to increase. They are just playing flawless basketball at both ends.
Greg, I can't identify an area where this team has underperformed. I mean, they've been 5-star in every category.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And from what you guys have seen so far from Cleveland, what's your take?
Boy, have they come out strong. Just some tremendous offense.
Guys fully in control and stroking it well.
And a moment now to reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the court for Cleveland, we've got Hayward. LeBron James is out there with Kevin Love. Then it's Chris Paul, and it's Butler in at the shooting guard. So timeout called here, the first for Cleveland.
Yeah, saw some things that just weren't working for them and wants to make some adjustments.
Yeah, and no reason to wait around to do that, Greg. I mean, you might as well make those adjustments right away.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Over that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Stan Van Gundy said to the team. His message to them was all about getting high percentage shots and having the crisp ball movement on the perimeter that it takes to get those shots. He said also that their offense needs to be a patient one. He told them, don't rush things. Use as much of that shot clock as you need to. I'm sure Coach is hoping those changes turn the tide in this game and shrink the deficit before halftime. Back to you, Kevin.
And thank you for that, Doris.
You know, if you're looking to build a small forward and there wasn't a LeBron James template, you might go with PG, Paul George. Height, length, athleticism, that combination off the charts with him. And he's got a nice, unflappable demeanor, too.
Morris, no good.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open. And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
10 straight points off assists. That's very impressive, and it also makes the game easy and fun to watch.
And pushing it up is Cleveland again in transition.
I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen throughout, just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively turning into quick points.
And that can't continue. I mean, if they hope to get back in this game, I mean, it's really deflating from a morale standpoint. They need stops and points. Now, well, there's hot guys, and then there's really hot. They just can't miss.
You know, Greg, sometimes you'll see an individual guy go on a shooting tear like this, but the whole squad, wow.
And the basket by Jackson.
Obviously, a mix-up defensively on that possession.
Guarded by Jackson. And here's George. Against Phoenix, he was really on his game. Stolen by Jackson. He feeds it to Morris. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson.
You always hear about chemistry. That's a perfect example, knowing where each other is at all times.
Poked away. Guarded by Jackson. Here he comes, and there he goes.
Look at him punish that rack.
Check out the fellas. Check out his teammates over on the bench. So they are going crazy. Yeah, too many easy buckets coming from inside, and I think he wants to make that a point of emphasis.
I was certainly giving up those kinds of easy looks inside. They'll be in big trouble.
The Pistons have gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Tolliver dishes to Jackson. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. That's on Dwight Howard.
And, guys, Reggie Jackson was at the end of a yo-yo last season. He starts at Oklahoma for an injured Westbrook. Westbrook comes back, sends Jackson to the bench. Then Oklahoma sends Jackson to Detroit, where he fills in for another injured starter in Brandon Jennings for the rest of the year.
Now getting back to Jackson, he showed several times last season that he has that starter ability. The Thunder knew they wouldn't have the money to re-sign him, Clark, in free agency, so they traded him to avoid losing him for nothing.
Yeah, and that's a good move. And with the Pistons, Jackson finished the season strong, while the Thunder, without Jackson or Durant's contributions, missed the playoffs for the first time in years.
Unable to get the ball in bounds, they get called for the 5-second violation.
That makes it 4 turnovers for him now. He's just been lazy with the ball in his hands, fellas.
Morris inside, defended by George. And the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. The Pistons working the ball around now. Got a piece of it.
Yeah, 3rd turnover of the quarter, and he has got to value that basketball more.
And that one's good. Westbrook's got his 3rd basket of the night.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Here's Jackson. It's rebounded by Cleveland.
Well, I think he kind of alligator armed that one. Short stroke. After doing a nice job to get open, he didn't finish the shot.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah, he was one step late that time, Greg.
George. It's hauled in by Tolliver.
Now, nice work there to contest the finish inside.
You know, they got the shot they wanted, but his defense, deterred them from those plans. They're on fire from mid-range, guys. They found a weakness in the defense, and they're exploiting it to a T.
And it's not often you see a team as efficient from that short 17, as I like to call it, but it's really worked well for them today.
Here in the second quarter, just under 3.5 minutes played. Good.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
11 feet away, and Westbrook gets it to go. Westbrook's got 8 here in the quarter.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Greg, the play in the paint has gone almost entirely all their way.
That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time.
Well, as we take a look at the rankings, let's see where Detroit ended up last season. 3rd in second chance points, 4th in rebounding, and they were top 10 in fewest team turnovers. This team has a number of players that take care of the ball and value every possession.
And just go revisit those numbers in terms of second chance points. That was elite, and they weren't shy about sticking their nose in there and going after the ball.
4 on the shot clock. Here's Baines, and he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
And a sturdy screen set for him that time, and he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one, that's for sure.
No chance, Kevin. The screen was in the right spot. His feet were... would have had to go straight through him, and that's not legal.
And the jump shot has been a dimension of this game where they've had a clear advantage.
Greg, they keep pulling up and watching them go down. It's a really nice thing to see. The offense has a better flow, and it actually looks better here in the second quarter.
It does. They're playing with a little bit more bounce in their step and trying to close this gap. And that's really the change in our game. It's the overall athletic ability. I love those point guards that can throw it down.
Well, you've talked about that. That's a dose of the modern NBA, Greg. That kind of aerial ability isn't limited now to just the front court anymore.
That's exactly right.
You know, I look at it this way, guys. It seems to me there are more high flyers at guard than anywhere else in the league these days.
To the paint. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got 4 assists now tonight.
The offense really coming around here in the second.
It's about rhythm, Clark. They're up above 50% now for the game, and you'll take that on any night. And defensively, there's still some work, though, they're going to have to shore up.
Outside Westbrook. Back to Howard. Shoots from 12. And Cleveland again with the bucket.
And, fellas, in this quarter, he's improved on what was already a very good performance in period number 1.
And guys, Dwight Howard's an interesting guy, one of the most physically imposing players in our league, and yet he's known for his lighthearted, almost playful nature. And I love that the instant that steal was made, they were out in the open floor.
Ball pressure leading to the run out. Man, it doesn't get much nicer than that. That is sweet, sweet stuff.
His shooting has been outstanding here. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
And for Howard, his parents raised him to keep a smile on his face and stay upbeat and remain positive. He's done all those things and still competed in the rough and tumble world of pro basketball.
Yeah, and yet some of his peers and contemporaries have gone at him. Durant, for instance, Kobe Bryant called him soft. Byron Scott questioned his desire. Guys go about their work in different manners.
To the inside. It's good for his 8th consecutive basket in only 8 tries. Wow.
Nice pass there to set that bucket up.
And that's 10 of their last 12 points that have come off assists.
And that one is stuffed right through.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it, too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
Jackson. And again, unable to change momentum here. George, that's a two-pointer. Oh, and the buzzer beater's good.
And that's a big bonus for him to end the quarter as he just beats the buzzer.
That's superb clock management there.
So as we conclude the first half, so far fairly one-sided. Cleveland ahead, running away with it.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. And Detroit, looking at who they've got. Jennings and Caldwell Pope in the backcourt. Johnson is out there with Ilyasova. And it's Drummond in at the center position. And George, here we go.
That's his first personal foul, first team foul.
Here's LeBron. Drummond with the block.
Andre Drummond. That's his first personal foul.
Jennings drives in. Johnson wide open. He fires. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings.
You know, maybe he's not one of the elite sharpshooters, but even still, that's not a shot that D can afford to give him.
Westbrook with a wide open look. Yes, once again, it remains perfect. 6 attempts and 6 hits.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
Johnson, the pass to Ilyasova. Offensive rebound. Back to Johnson. Drummond up top. He's guarded by Howard. Here's Ilyasova.
A play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
Westbrook with the drive. 90 seconds now into the second half. And Caldwell Pope gets the basket.
Guys, they've had a solid start to the second half offensively. Gotten good looks, and they've made 3 out of 4 of them.
And here's Westbrook from the arc. Lucky 7 drops in. He's perfect from the floor. 7 for 7.
He's a big reason why they have the lead right now. He's made all of his field goal attempts thus far and remains hot from the floor.
It's tipped. And George kicks to Howard. Cleveland moving the ball around. Westbrook dishes to Howard. The jump hook, and off the fry, and in it goes. Howard's got 10 points in the game.
I'll tell you what, a ton of their offense coming in transition. And if you've got the legs for it, I think that's the best way to play the game.
I agree. Put pressure on the defense. Get the ball up the floor. You can always pull it out and run your half-court sets. And guys, he's not the tallest or most imposing wing player, but Stanley Johnson has incredible strength and really unmatched confidence. One reason why so many were high on him in the draft.
At the line for 2.
And for Johnson out of Arizona, Greg, his strength, as you were talking about, is his biggest asset. Helps that he has this incredible arm span. And Clark, you know what? He told me he likes to play the 2K game.
Yeah, he does enjoy that. He likes to play the real game, too, because he's hyper-competitive, and I think he's got a chance to be a superb defender at the NBA level.
And defensively, just too many baskets in transition. It's really, that's been the difference.
And you know they work on that plenty in practice. A run out here and there will happen. That's part of the game. But they've got to do a much better job overall.
It's Jennings with the drive, and he gets it to go. Jennings has got his second bucket.
A nice start to the second half. Just one miss in their first 5 attempts.
third quarter here, and 3 minutes have come off the clock. Caldwell Pope kicks to Drummond. He dishes it to Caldwell Pope. Five to shoot. Back to Drummond. Johnson outside. And there's the pass to Caldwell Pope. That's in, coming off an assist from Johnson. Caldwell Pope's got 10 points.
You know, the defense was lax right there, and he's able to make them pay.
Jennings kicks to Johnson. Second shot opportunity, and it's sent back by Howard. Here's George. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. 10 points for him.
Tell you what, their transition game is lights out. I mean, that's a big difference maker here.
And fast break offense, really one of the higher percentage shots you typically get in a game, and so you have to continue to look for those easy baskets.
And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That'll be his second foul of the game. For Cleveland, they've gone 5 of 6 so far from the field in the second half. Tremendous efficiency. Here's Westbrook. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play.
They're in the position they're in right now, thanks in no small part to the show that he's putting on in this period.
Jackson, he's checked in for Caldwell Pope. Knocks it loose. And pushing it up is Cleveland again in transition. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for Cleveland.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
And also, how about the points they've gotten in transition or on the fast break tonight? That's been a huge factor as well.
That's good.
The defender a little hesitant to offer resistance as he bursts to the hoop.
Cleveland's gone a very strong 4 for 5 from three-point land in the ballgame. George against Johnson. And George gets it to go. George has got 12 in the game.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
That's right. 5 of their last 6 makes were on the interior. They've established their inside presence.
Second team foul.
On defense, Cleveland. Drummond a screen. Jackson passes to Drummond, and he dunks it after the pick frees him up.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
He's guarded by Jennings. Pass to Westbrook. Just 5 to shoot. Too long in the paint, and he's hit with a 3-second violation. For Cleveland, they have yet to miss from the free throw line. They're 3 for 3.
And as a group, they shot 75% from the line last season.
And no good on the technicals, so unable to pick that one up. 1:39 left to play in the third. George dishes to Westbrook. And again, it's Cleveland.
This switch has definitely been flipped to on this quarter, guys.
Pistons have gotten 8 of their 11 shots to drop since the break. A great third quarter for them offensively.
And guys, you talk about players who have that killer instinct. Russell Westbrook is right at the top of that list.
Johnson's gone 2 for 2 so far from 3. And finished off by LeBron.
Really, that's his specialty right there. Finding that angle and then going hard to the rim.
Johnson the screen.
Foul. Number 24. That's his second personal foul. Third team foul.
And stolen by James.
He was on that pass in a flash, read it, reacted, and then picked it off.
Johnson kicks to Jennings. Drummond sets the screen for Jennings. No good off the pick.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today. There's a glaring discrepancy between these teams in that area of the game.
And it's been the difference. That's what's enabled them to build such a big lead, no doubt about it.
And he commits the intentional foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
Cleveland from three-point land in the ball game. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
Not the guy you want to send to the line, Kevin.
Cleveland shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. And the first one drops.
At the line, Paul George.
And George drops them both.
And they're doing a better job of working themselves to the line here in the second half.
This is how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. Defender pressing up on you, you press right back.
The Pistons have shot 75% at the stripe, 6 of 8.
At the line, Brandon Jennings.
And Jennings drops them both. There's 10 seconds left in the third. Outside Irving. It's deflected. And that's out of bounds. Cleveland will retain possession.
And really no choice but to lunge for that pass to make sure it didn't get through.
Yeah, and that was important. Probably would have been a quick 2 points if he doesn't get a hand on it and knock it out of bounds.
Smith for 3, and he drains the 3. But let's see, they may need to review it. I'm not sure the ball was out of his hand in time. And not so fast. The officials are going to check that shot again and make sure they got it right before we go to the fourth.
Yeah, that's a tough call there with the naked eye. Fortunately, the league's replay center able to slow it down, zoom in, and check all the angles.
Exactly. Making certain the right call was made. They've done a great job of speeding the process and giving the officials the information they need to arrive at the right call.
Well, the ruling is in, and the call stands. No basket, so no change, Clark, and the scoreboard as we end the quarter.
Smart decision to review the shot. That was indeed very close to being legitimate.
The 3/4 of... Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know. Detroit's gone a terrific 5 of 6 from beyond the arc in this game. We've got J.R. Smith. Tristan Thompson is out there with Paul George. And it's Chris Paul. That's the 5 for Cleveland right now.
Ooh, quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
And it's thrown down hard with both hands.
It's hard to believe that he's a point guard. I mean, he can power those dunks down as well as any big man in the league.
If not better. He's a phenomenal finisher.
Enjoy seeing that kind of bounce out of that spot on the floor.
And the whistle blows, and it's going to be an over-the-back call here.
Remember, for a long time, flopping was like the #1 concern in the NBA. I mean, it still happens a lot, but the rules have curbed it quite a bit. We have seen less and less flopping the last few years.
Cleveland's gone a very strong 4 for 5 from three-point land in the ball game. Smith right side. And now the fast break.